Okay, so today we're going to look at how to make a digital notebook that connects to a master copy. That way, when you send students their own individual copy of the notebook, you can still link into the master. So right now I have Google Slides pulled up. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of everything that's on there. I'm going to delete that out. And then I'm also going to go ahead and just change this to a blank layout. And then I also want to change the sizing of this slide. So that way, if a student or I ever need to print any of these slides out, they will print out as a regular sized paper on the printer. So I'm going to come up here to File, Page Setup. I'm going to Custom, and then change this to an 8.5 by an 11. And so now it looks like a regular sized paper. Also, what I want to do is I don't want to, every time I add a new slide, to change the background or the composition notebook. I don't want to have to add all that in. So what I'm going to come up here and do is I'm going to click on View, Master, and then it's going to bring these slides up. Okay, and up here at the top, it says Master. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to go ahead and delete all this out as well. And then I'm going to paste in the composition or the spiral that I want to use each time. I've already pulled one up. I went with the spiral notebook. I went with the one that didn't have any lines on it. You can pick whatever one you would like, but this is the one I'm going to go with. So I'm going to copy this image, and then I'm going to paste it into here. When I do that, I want the spiral to take up the majority of the slide. So I made it rather large. I'm going to line that up to where there's not a whole lot left showing. I know there's digital spirals or digital notebooks that you could do with the tabs over here on the side. I'm not going to do that for this one. I'm just going to stick with the simple table of content and linking in the table of contents, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. I'm also going to change the background. So click off of it, come up here to background. I'm going to go with black. That way it makes the white spiral stand out more. And then I'm done. So now every time I have this, I've clicked over here and it's blue. I'm going to exit out of this. So now every time I make a new slide, it's going to already have that copied in there. Not sure why that was there. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so it's not there. So every time I create a new slide, it's already going to have this on there, so I don't have to add it. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to create a text box. Right here, I'm going to put in here, I'm going to make the lettering a little bit larger. I'm also going to center it. I'm going to center it going down the middle and in the middle of the text box. Maybe make it bold and then type your name here. That way, whenever students, they get their own copy, they can just come in here in this text box and they can add their name to right here. Then I'm going to come down below that. I'm going to add another text box, and I'm going to put the subject. Make it larger. We'll go with a 36. Center it both ways. And then type in reading. Okay, so this would be completed. And you can add whatever more you want to it. I'm going to come to the second slide. This is going to be our table of content. So I'm going to add a text box, change the sizing, and I'm going to put table of content here, and then come down here and add another text box going about to the entire page, and change the sizing a little bit bigger. Doesn't have to be too big. And then I'm going to add the bullet. That way it keeps track of it. And let's say you don't have to have this completed for the entire year. So I'm just going to start off with 3 just to show you what it would look like. And you can add 2 as the year goes on. So I'm going to put in figurative language, point of view, and let's go with literary elements. Okay, so you have like 3 going here. I'm going to go to the next slide. So the first thing we were going to look at is figurative language. So I'm going to create a title for this one. We'll go with copying it, centering it, and then type in figurative language. And then I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to create another slide. I'm not really sure why that's popping up. I'm going to create another slide. I'm going to paste that into there. And you could have just added another text box. I thought I would save a little bit of time, but it doesn't look like I really am. And the next one on the table of content was point of view. Okay, and then we'll create another one. And it's going to be titled Literary Elements. And we can also center all this. Okay. So again, you can come in and change this however you want. So now let's say we have these 3 slides. These are the first 3 I know I want to do. But I don't want to create everything for the entire year. But I know that I need at least 20 slides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on each one. I'm going to make 20 slides. I'm sure there's a faster way. I'm not really for sure. Okay. So now I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to go ahead and link all these into this. So I would just click on figurative language. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to come over here with the insert link. Click on slides in this presentation. And figurative language is actually the 3rd slide. So I'm going to scroll down to where I find the 3rd slide, slide 3, and I'm going to apply. That way, whenever, as your list gets longer, instead of the kids searching through each slide, they can just come to the table of content, select the topic that they want, and it will take it straight to that slide. So I'm going to do the same thing for point of view. I'm going to insert it. slides in this presentation. It is slide number 4. Apply. And then the last one, insert it, slides in this presentation, and it is slide number 5. Okay. So now what you want to do, now that you have it all set up, you can now come up here and we're going to title this Digital Notebook. And then I'm going to put Master at the end of it so I do not get it confused with this student copy. Okay, so now you need to open up another Google Slides. I've already opened another one up, so it is located here. And what you're going to do is you are going to copy each one of these. So I'm going to just Control Shift, come down to the bottom, select the last one. Whoops, that did not work. I'm going to go back up here, select the first one, and then I'm going to come down to the bottom, click Control Shift, and select the last one. And now it's selected all of them for me. I can copy these, go back over here, and paste them in. And it might take a second. And you're going to click on this link and keep original style. And when you do that, it will then bring up your master copy. It's just taking it a second. Okay, so you notice that it doesn't have the right size. So what I need to do is I've got to come in. I'm going to delete this one out. You're going to come in, go to the file again, and go ahead to that page setup and change back to your 8.5 by 11. Okay, so notice we have, it looks like the other one. This one has this linking bar up here, and so it's linked to the master copy. So I don't get them confused. I'm going to also title this one Digital Notebook, and I'm going to put Student at the top of this one. Okay. So now they are linked. When you send it in Google Classroom, I have that pulled up. You're going to create a material, title it Digital Notebook. You're going to add this to it. It should be in my recent, since that is the last thing I pulled up, and it looks like it is. I just got to make sure you click on the student version. Pretty sure that's it. Okay. And then when you do this, oops. Oh, okay. So that was wrong. I'm sorry. You're going to create, you're going to click on assignment, title it Digital Notebook. You're going to add it. It was the most recent thing I looked at, so I can just click on the one which would be here. Now this is an important part. It says students can view file. We want to click on here. We are going to make a copy for each student. You want them to have their own copy. I'm going to set this at ungraded. That way we are not taking grades for it. I'm not putting a due date. And then the topic, if you want to, you can add a topic of digital notebook. That way it stays at the top for its own topic if you would like. And then I'm going to assign it. Okay. So once you assign it, it has, it's going to send each student its own copy. Now the two are linked. So for instance, whenever I come up here, and let's say I want to add to the table of content or to figurative language. So we'll click on figurative language. I'm going to add a text box. Let's say I type in it. Let me make it a little bit bigger just so you can see it. Again, this is not how my digital notebook looks. I'm just trying to get some things on here. So let's say simile, metaphor, pun, personification, and let's go with that. Okay, so this is the master copy up here that I'm working with. The student copy that you have sent, if they were on it, it would not have anything on there. But notice the difference between this one and the linking bar and the one that I just typed on. Since I typed on it, it's now going to bring up this box that says update. When they update it, it will now appear what I had typed onto mine. Okay. So it will change it to look like the master copy. You always want them to have it updated before they type anything on there if you're going to have them type something on there. The reason for that, let's say they came on here and they added, they added, let's go with a shape, and they put a shape on here. For whatever reason, we'll fill it in with a color just so we can see it. Okay, so let's say that. And then on my master copy, I had added something to it. Let's go with, okay, so I added something to it. So since I added something to it, it's going to say update again. But here's the catch. When I update it, it takes what the student added off. Okay, so always make sure you have yours finished before they update it. Or they could also, they could copy this or cut it out, and then it will take it off. They could update it, then it's updated, and then they can paste it back in. Oops. And they can paste it back in. So that's kind of a way around it. Just make sure the students always update before they add to. Once they add to it, they can, and you're completely finished with that slide, you can unlink it. That way it doesn't ever change back to the master copy and deletes their stuff. So let's say that a student does unlink something before they did the master copy. So notice all the linking stuff up here went away, but all the other slides still have it. Okay. So the way you can fix that is you can actually come to one of them that has the linking bar still to it, hit the drop down and it says open source. That's going to open the master copy. And once you open the master copy, you can then go to the slide that you want. So it was the figurative language, I think we said they deleted out. Okay, so it's been a little slow. Okay, so It was the figurative language. So you're going to copy that, and then they'll go back to their copy, and they will then click in between the two and paste it and link to original. And then it will bring it back up, and you can delete the other one out since you really don't need it anymore. Okay. So this is how you link. This is the way around of keeping an ongoing digital notebook with the students so they can have their own copy, but yet you're still add to slides. So since we added all these slides to the bottom, you can keep just going throughout the year.